Yeah, welcome to In the Box. I'm Joey Little with Modern Dealership Magazine. We want to thank Auto Alert for hosting and sponsoring In the Box. Thanks to Auto Alert, the team behind the camera are able to go to Applebee's at night to grab some dinner here in Las Vegas. If we didn't have a sponsor, we usually just eat the NADA food. That's it.
Did you get Applebee's as a sponsor? Was that a...
No, we just can afford to get Applebee's since we have a sponsor. If we didn't have a sponsor like we haven't for the last couple of years, we usually just take the NADA food from the press room and just take it back to our Motel 6 and enjoy that in our single room that we all stay in.
Sometimes I like to package them in last night's Applebee's containers just so I feel like I'm eating good takeout for a second night in a row.
And you're married. That's what amazing. How's your wife let you do that? Rick Ricart, ladies and gentlemen, from the Ricart Automotive Group. He's. I asked him yesterday, what's your title? I think the word president, vice president, marketing, sales, everything and anything and everything was in your title. But Rick Ricart is here, well known across the country as having probably the #1 pre-owned used car, CPO, whatever you want to say, dealership everywhere. Plus you've got amazing franchises. You're part of the Ford 20 group, which is with Auto Alert.
Yeah.
I specifically wanted to bring you on to discuss recipes. No, I didn't want to do that, even though you're a cook.
You saw my mouth? I lit up though.
Yeah,
I like talking about any and everything I'm passionate about. I love the car business. I love used cars, love new cars, love recipes, love smoking, barbecue.
Right. Yeah.
And together.
We're Kansas City guys, you know what to say.
City, yeah.
No, what I want to talk to you about, and I know I got to get on, I'm going to get on topic here for at least a little bit, is I was told something, and I want to get your view on it, is company like Carvana and CarMax, is they are causing a bit of disruption to the auctions for local dealers to get inventory.
Yeah.
Is that happening?
Sure.
Because they're able to buy cars and then sell them anywhere else in the country. They can buy. Tell me a little. Do you have a view on that? Is that something that you pondered, or?
So I have more of. Let's not say more. Love our new car OEMs. There's nothing better than a new car customer.
We'll get the disclaimer out of the way.
Out of the way, but I kind of cut my teeth, grew up in the world of used cars.
Right.
So when there's CarMax news and information, I'm reading it. I want to stay on top of what they're doing. Carvana, I've been a fan. I've been watching what they're doing. Disrupting a market that has so much more potential.
Okay.
You know, there's going to be 80 million, 60 million, depending on what resource you look at, a whole ton of used car transactions in 2020. From private purchase, dealer lots, you name it.
Is that up? That's up.
It's up, and it's gonna keep climbing. It's up also because the SAR index rose, took a little dip last year, which means you may see a little bit of effect on that of the used car market in 2 to 3 years. But for right now today, there are more used cars available on the streets at the auctions. Consumers are getting ready to trade than there were last year, whether people want to believe that or not. Carvana, CarMax, a lot of the new startups that don't have franchise dealerships, that immediately gives them the #1 used car to sell, which is a new car trade-in. They don't have that, so they have to go find where to source them. So they got to go to the auction and compete with the dealers. Auction prices have always traditionally been high. You have smart dealers that are competing, they're putting their hand up, they're bidding against each other. That's why auctions exist. And it creates a platform. Sure, there's good benefits to the auction. You have the consignment side, the money's safe, the title's safe. It's a safer place to do business than just two gypsies swapping title and cash on the street. But they have to go there and play in that space. I know for a fact CarMax and Carvana do not want to play anymore in the auction space. Both of their current electronic media campaigns are focused towards what? Start here, sell us your car.
Yeah.
Carvana wants a picture of the license plate. Through license plate and registration, ownership data, VIN number, boom, they're appraising a trade. CarMax, start here. They want to organically source inventory. When they do, they are more profitable. Carvana is currently at 31%. What they are selling, they've sourced organically, either a trade-in on a Carvana or a private purchase off their website. CarMax, between 40 and 52% usually. When they're closer to that 52% number, CarMax is making money, big money, hand over fist. So they're figuring out through the technology to make it fair, create a memorable experience, and to focus on acquisition and sourcing before retail. And so that's really what's going to drive Carvana from, well, how is this company with this big market cap and all these investors, how are they actually making money? Well, they weren't for the first few years because they had to go source auctions and compete with us.
Right.
Now they're starting to gain some traction, and they're going to start sourcing private purchase cars and get more trades, and you'll see Carvana's profitability go up.
What does that do for a strategy like Ricart? What does Ricart do with that, seeing that kind of information? How does that change?
I've been a big proponent on predatory buying, on alternative buying. We've created some of these phrases because our buying center at Used Car Factory in Columbus, the last thing we want them doing is standing in an auction lane with their hands up.
Yeah.
And I've got the auctions play a major role in our business model. Not have anything against the auctions, but we should have been able to, between proxy bidding, buying them online, buying them off other auction resources, build relationships with other new car dealers. There's a lot more dealer-to-dealer wholesaling going on with reconditioned cars and the paperwork going with them than there was before. Because now we're starting to find out, wait a minute, you're going to the auction, they may claim it's frontline ready. They may claim it's been reconditioned. You don't know that until you bring it back to the shop, you put it on a lift, and you pay a technician to go through it. And a lot of certification programs, you're still doing more work to the cars. So franchise dealers are figuring out, wait a minute, let's bypass the auction. I've got a car, I've had it for 60 days, I recondition it, I didn't get it sold, you're 100 miles away, do you want the car?
Right.
Cool, hey, it's been reconditioned, I'll send the paperwork with it, right? And they work that out. And so they're starting to find new alternative ways of sourcing inventory, trading inventory. The predatory buying is an old Viato phrase that comes off of when you're appraising a car and you're using a system like that, and you have a car that's going to be a V rank or whatever system you use shows it as going to be the car you're going to compete with in the market. Price may be too low. You pick up the phone and you buy that car too. And you figure out ways to create your own markets inside. So that's what CarMax has been doing for years. They use proprietary data, their own research. They don't really care what I'm doing down the road. They're going to do what their market data says based on location. And Carvana is just taking that level and are doing it without the brick and mortar.
Which
It's
is
not more than you.
No, it's a great answer.
Just keep going on and on and on.
You can tell you're very passionate about it.
I love it. I love the world of used cars.
That leads me to my next question. We're going to talk about gross on the front end of a used vehicle, and what is causing less gross in the industry right now? Is it the third-party lead source sites, or is it dealerships that are not managing their aged inventory? Is that a good question?
Yes, that's a great question.
Yeah, look at that. Rick's a good guy.
I'm going to pick option B, Joseph.
Or you can address both of those. Let's just start with the first one.
I think
what are third-party sites doing to gross on used inventory?
So they have created a race to the bottom.
Okay.
Because you go find an average consumer, not the white pages studies, not what you're reading in reports, but whoever you have in your neighborhood, or maybe a coworker, if you're not in a car dealership, that is what you would consider as the average American. And go up to them.
Say Drew Black, right back there.
Say Drew Black. Say, Drew, you're in the market, you're thinking about a 2015 Ford Explorer. Go stand behind him and say, do me a favor, start on cars.com or autotrader.com and watch the actual behavior of an average person. They don't start 75 miles out or 100 miles out. They start 20 miles from home.
Correct.
And once they kind of know what make and model, they're usually a year range, because some people, whether it's a 15 or a 16 or a 17, if the deal's right, but then they sort price low to high. And a lot of people, take that. So if that's the game you want to play in, we've kind of chosen to, once a used car is 42 days in stock, that's the game it's going into. Now we're going out for this field where we're going for volume and gross. Now it's strictly exit strategy volume.
That's at 42 days.
At 42 days. I've got like a 9-week theory. You got, same as it was 60 years ago, you got 3 weeks to make money on a used car. The first 21 days. Day 21 through 42 is reduced to sweet spot to not quite to wholesale, right? And then once it hits 42 to 60, that's wholesale phase. You're literally taking a retail deal and pricing it equivalent to wholesale. And for the point of instead of taking it to the auction and that's all you're going to get is whatever the price is, maybe we can pick up a trade, we can sell a service contract, we can get some reinsurance, we can do all this stuff. Waving at some good friends from Columbus everywhere. This is a fun weekend too.
And we're right in the middle of the Auto Alert booth, and we're perched up in the air so you can see all the way around, yeah.
Yeah, it's super cool. Great booth. Auto Alerts, man. I don't even want to go on that.
I want to ask you a question because you are an Auto Alert user.
Great stuff. But the second part is even more critical. Dealers, merchandise your vehicles correctly. Everyone wants to automate bookouts, right? Like, there's all kinds of great systems out there that can take a VIN, implode it, and automate their bookouts. You're not done. You're not done merchandising. Please don't stop there. Have a human being, an individual, go out, touch the car, the truck, get all the options off it, see if there's aftermarket. I mean, really market your vehicle correctly. That way, when the live market view software of the world is out there scanning, it's comparing apples to apples. Because you'll be appraising a truck these days and you go to pull up a competitive set and the first 9 are not what they said they were. And they're dealers that are they do the bare minimum. Well, when you're putting bare minimum information on the internet, you're getting bad data out to some of the rest of us. So be careful when you're pricing, make sure you're pricing apples to apples. So, there's a lot of dealers out there that are playing this race to the bottom going, I'm just not making the gross and used cars. Are you or are you not really playing the game correctly? Look at the merchandising, look what you're comparing your price to. Don't forget to look at wholesale value and true MMR or a transactional number, because there's dealers that are then going below that number, not even realizing what they're doing.
So when dealers are saying, if there's dealers that are out there that are saying that V-Auto is ruining gross on pre-owned vehicles and third party is ruining it, that you are saying maybe that they need to take a look at it, they're inside their house first.
I've got a 9/16 socket in my barn that keeps ruining spark plugs in my motorcycles. It's the socket's fault, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or am I using it wrong?
I'll get you.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's not the tool.
V-Auto didn't ruin there's no race to the bottom. It's always been there.
Yeah.
In fact, before V-Auto came out, I used to sit at our Chevy store in Whitehall, Ohio, small single point Chevy store, doing 50 to 80 used a month, and didn't even know about it. I'd print out my ADP inventory on the line printer and sit there by age and go on Auto Trader and Cars manually myself and pull up everything in inventory and sort it and see where I ranked.
Really?
I was doing it before V-Auto. We were as a company. I didn't think of that. My Uncle Mark Meadows thought of that at Miracle Motor Mart in Columbus, Ohio. There's your plug. We got family everywhere. And we're doing this system, and then of course I go to a digital dealer conference in Nashville, meet Dale Pollock, see V-Auto. And I remember driving all the way home from Nashville, that 6-hour drive, trying to calculate how much time I've wasted 8 hours a day repricing cars without the software system. Yeah. So it gave me the tool to do what I was doing more efficiently. Now we just have to be smarter than the tool. Don't strip out the spark plugs. Think about what you're doing. Look at those competitive set. Don't give the car away on day one, right? You got 3 weeks. If they're telling you come out of the gate at 94, 95, 96, 97, why? Come out at 100% and train your sales staff. Crazy concept. Because if you've got, and we have non-commissioned sales staff, but they've got really cool bonuses in place and stuff for volume and age. Not because we want them to sell the old stuff, but when someone comes in to look at that 60-day old unit that you're losing $1,000 on the front, yeah, you want to move that unit, but you want to have a sales process so that they're showing them the option of the freshest meat in the butcher shop.
Right.
Say, oh, if you like that one, wait till you see this one, and go pull the one around that you've got out there at 100 or 99% price to market, that possibly you can still put some salesmanship back in the car business and let the magic happens that happens when the transfer of emotion between two people occur.
You're saying that a lot of these challenges,
it's fundamentals. I'm not saying anything that was the same thing that would have been said in 1964.
So
just with these tools in place to help us get there.
And if there's anybody to listen to get this information from, it's the #1 used car place
franchise
in the country, right?
Franchise dealer. That's what Auto ReMarketing Magazine. Yeah, I'm going to put the disclaimer out there. Yeah.
Listen, we're in Vegas, where I can say I'm the #1 television host voted in Vegas. I can say that. We're in Vegas. You say
really are.
Yeah. But I want to step away from that because
this is the best Sunday TV show currently being filmed in all of Greater Las Vegas.
Convention Center.
inside the box.
So
Joey Little.
Now, just to get out of here, have a little fun, because if you don't know Rick personally, the guy is not all work. He likes to have some play. He doesn't want to be a dull boy, right? So I got 3 questions for you. I just want to get your top of mind opinion and feedback.
Okay.
Out of the 2 video games, which is the best of all time? Street Fighter or Super Mario Kart?
Wow! I'm gonna go Mario Kart. I'm a race guy. I'm a driving guy. I probably have played Mario Kart a lot more than man. But yeah, that's good. That's good. Ayukin, right? Yeah. Street Fighter. That's my Ryu impression.
That's you're going. So you're going. You just said Mario Kart, right?
Right, but I can still
do Street Fighter.
Yeah,
but still Mario Kart. Number 2, who was the better Sports Illustrated swimsuit model? Elle McPherson or Kathy Ireland?
My wife, Tiffany Ricart. Because I'm sure after this weekend, I need all the points I can get. Kathy Ireland. Classic.
Yeah,
that's
Kathy
classic
Ireland.
80s. I remember, I think it's a red one-piece, circa 87.
Yeah.
Something like that. That as a young, at that time I would have been an eight-year-old boy.
I'm going to give you 3 choices on the, I'm adding a question at the end, but I want to give you 3 choices on the next one. Scariest TV or scariest movie icon. Is it Freddy, Jason, or Beetlejuice?
So
I see how long it takes to think about this.
I'm logically analyzing this. So assuming all 3 are real, Beetlejuice, because it's supernatural. Can appear out of nowhere.
Absolutely.
The whole laughing and fun side is weird. Heads are getting shrunk. That freaks me out.
It's a good answer.
Jason and Freddy are both real in your face, and you just wonder why they didn't just go out the door that goes outside and run. It seems like you can get away more. Although Freddy haunts you in your dreams, so there's some supernatural. I'm going to change my answer from Beetlejuice to Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger.
He did kill Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
In his first movie.
That is true.
And my last question for you.
No power tools either.
Is there any way in the world I can get the new chairman of the NADA's autograph?
I might be able to get you an autographed picture or even a selfie. No, it's an exciting weekend for us as a family. My uncle, Rhett Ricart.
What's your uncle? It's not your brother.
Yes, correct.
Okay, I was getting that mixed up.
My brother's Ross. My cousin's Jared. Jared's dad's Rhett. My dad's Fred. There's a whole family tree thing we can go over at some point. But really, this was something that Rhett took on 3 years ago, becoming the Ohio director of NADA. Yeah. And the main reason he did that, number 1, he loves to give back and help the community. He loves the car business. He truly loves all car dealers. He wants to be able to create change. And he also needed to find something to do as he's trying to let my cousin, my brother, and I,
for the next generation to really do
what we need to do. And he felt like he was meddling and getting involved and stuff. And we love having him around. I mean, it's like my dad with marketing.
Are you saying this is your uncle's retirement job?
It's his transition job.
I hear you.
And I think he'll kind of say that. I think he's going to put his heart and soul into what he's going to do in the next year for NADA and for all auto dealers. This great country of ours. And I just hope all the guys in NADA keep him so busy that he'll want to take another year or two just to relax and decompress afterwards. But it's like having the best advisor, consultants, you could possibly have around with my dad and uncle.
It's Rick Ricart, awesome. Ricart Automotive Group out of Columbus, Ohio. Appreciate you coming by and talking used cars.
Loving it.
With me. Which, by the way, are you a Used Cars, the movie fan?
Yeah, of course I am.
You just got to check.
All new hires have to watch it before they're allowed to go through my final class.
Great.
Yeah,
I make these guys watch suckers on the internet. It's hard to find, but
it is. I've got a VHS and DVD copy of both.
Thanks a lot for joining us on In the Box.
I'm a VHS player, but you know what I'm saying.
Just give them away.
Yeah, keep watching this guy. Listen to this guy.